In this video, I'm going to be building two custom Beamers, one of which is going to be an M4 street car, similar to this GT3, but maybe toned down a little bit, definitely racing inspired still. It's going to be red. The other one is an M8 custom, designed by Tom's 8 Wides. I've been building the car by the instructions up to this point, other than substituting colors with red. However, this is going to be a street car, so I'm going to add a second seat. And just like that, I've got a passenger seat now. I did remove the controller piece that was used as the steering wheel in the race car. Went with a traditional one as well as a shifter. Also, there's some room between the two seats. So I thought that'd be a perfect spot to slide in a subwoofer. Even though it's not attached to any studs, the subwoofer is locked into place by the seats in front and the roof up on top. However, I'm going to redesign the trunk area. Probably could have put the subwoofer in the trunk. Maybe I'll find something else to put back here. But I want it more open, a bigger window, and less closed off than the original build. I've been redesigning this back end quite a bit. What I want to accomplish is putting in this window. However, there's some interference going on. Because of this large wedge plate, I removed it on this side. Still used some wedge plates and tiles to get the shaping like it was originally designed above the taillights. But removing that large piece cleared up some studs to where maybe I can fit this down in a little bit deeper. Technically, the M4 is a four-seater. This is not a trunk area. We'll just say those back seats have been removed, subwoofer added, and we call it a day. A stock M4 wouldn't have an air inlet right here, or slick tires for that matter. But for that matter and this matter, this is no stock M4. Transitioning the back window into the roof didn't go as well as I expected. However, I've got an idea of how I can conceal this little blemish.
I have an idea.
Great Neptune in heaven! I need an idea!
So the idea is that I'd have this propped up sunroof, and that will hide the transition between the back window and the roof. Yeah, I think that works. Now let's go ahead and finish building out the car. The M4 is now complete. I'll show you that in its entirety. But now, let's build the M8. This custom M8 is designed by Tom's 8 Wides, my favorite ReBrickable mock artist. I mean, it goes to show, right? This is the 7th car that I'm building of his. And every one of them has surprised me, appealed to me, inspired me to do my own mocking, even customizing, personalizing his cars that he designed, and also making custom settings for the cars. So it seems like every week he's coming out with a new car. So I'm always looking at his Instagram page to see what he came up with next. And I feel like this is going to be another banger. This car seats two, has reclining seat backs. Back behind the passenger seat are two NOS bottles. There's a couple of roll bars, trunk space, and the way that this back window, louvered window by the way, transitions into the roof is so much better than my car. Yeah, just like that. These radiator grille elements give a good louvered window feel, especially when you get to this angle down here. That looks really cool. The build is complete, and it went by pretty quickly because most of these pieces were very common. In fact, I don't think there were any rare pieces that I had trouble finding. I'm showing you this angle because I like this low profile roof. This roof is pushed in by one plate or tile. I've got the GT3 car back behind it. You can see that this one is one plate lower. And it's just a really cool effect. I did very little color substitutions, none of which you would notice except for the trans black windscreen and bricks for the windows. I didn't use trans brown because I love this new trans black with the darker tint. It draws your focus on the exterior and complements the car so well, in my opinion. Gives it that cool factor. Some of Tom's car designs have over-the-top engine detail exposed, and I love it. This one, it's a little more subtle, though it's pretty cool seeing the twin turbos coming out the hood here. We've got side pipes, both sides, and I like the use of the engine components for air intakes in the front. The black and white color scheme makes this car look very clean, though I do appreciate the splash of color here on the hood. The trans yellow headlights also give this car some life and color. Got trans red in the back and even trans orange for some turn signals. Love the body kit on this car, the big front end splitter, the side skirts, the rear diffuser, and the big wing. The way the wing is built and attached to the car is very refreshing. Typically we'd see it attached to the top of the trunk, but it's attached back here. It just gives it some character. And I like the use of the robot arms to make that attachment. So there are a couple of issues I've encountered. Even while I was building it, I noticed when handling it, this is where I want to pick it up from. This would collapse and cave in. And these mirrors can sometimes just, pop in like that. So what I was thinking of doing was adding this inverted tile on the underside of the plates. I think the solution looks good, but the problem is still there. And now we won't be able to put the roof back into place. What I'm going to try next is switching out this smaller bracket with this larger one. The larger brackets fixed the problem I was having. Now I can just pick up and firmly press on it, not have to worry about it caving in, though I'm having to redesign the interior quite a bit. However, I'm dealing with a bigger issue here, fitting the minifigure. Even without hairpiece or helmet, it just doesn't fit. And it goes back to that this windscreen is pushed down by a plate. It really needs to be raised up a plate thickness, but then that changes the whole design back here. Do I raise everything up by a plate thickness? Let's see what Tom has to say. Okay, so he said you should be able to fit the minifigure in, but without hair or helmet piece. So only bald men can drive this car. And the roof doesn't close all the way, he said. So I can leave it without the figure inside, and it looks like a great car. Everything looks great. But I want minifigures to be able to drive this around. I like it's minifigure scaled, so I think a minifigure should fit. So what I'm going to do is try to raise the roof up by one plate. Being able to fit the minifigure in there with a helmet at least was important to me. So raise the roof up by one plate and everything works out just fine. Except for this transition right here. I'll replace that 1x1 tile with a Chi-slope for a smoother transition. But the overall appearance doesn't suffer. It looks just as good to me. I could have left the car as designed and would have been fine with it. But making these few changes makes it feel greater. So very happy with how it is. Now moving back to my M4. I didn't do any modding to the front part down here. This nozzle piece should have been in a red, but leaving it black just feels like part of the grill. I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think that nozzle comes in red. I left the hood smooth for the most part, though I did leave these inlets as originally designed. However, I removed some plates down below to give it a little bit of empty space to make it feel like realistic air ducts. Over here on the sides, you'll notice that I did add some tires with some tread. In the back, you'll see is where I made most of my mods. Starting with down low, I've got dual exhaust coming out the back rather than a side pipe. Love this design, but I like this too. Redesigned and shaped up the bumper back here. Spoiler is a lot more subtle than this. The back window, well, there's a back window now. And really like this view, peering in through the open sunroof. All right, now we've reached a part of the video, my favorite part of the video, a cool way to display these cars. This is my starting grid diorama that I designed for F1 cars, but also works for a pair of Beamers. Looks good with these two cars. Let's try this other M4. This is usually the part of the video where I don't do a lot of talking, just have some music playing in the background, but I always come across some copyright issues, so sorry, you're just gonna have to hear me talking. Playing with these car lifts never get old. Raise it up for another car to go in. How about this one? Here comes the custom M8. This M4 is going up to allow the other M4 to come in. Sorry, that's just how I do it. Anyway, that wraps up this video. Let me know what you think about these cars. I think this one is a success now that we've got the minifigure able to fit in. This one, I like it. I like the red color scheme. Having this opening sunroof was totally unplanned, but I like that. It's unique. Wait, don't you got somewhere to go? Can I just play with my cars here?